Now, the next one is titled Weird Christmas for Father-in-Law. Today I get this group text, my father-in-law, with a picture of him and saying everyone likes his new golf shirt. As I look at it, it's a Hawaiian style shirt with my child's picture scattered throughout the shirt. I showed my husband and I said, seriously? And he just sort of laughed and said, yeah, they, mother-in-law and his siblings, got that for him. I said, that's ridiculous. And then I replied to the text that I don't remember my daughter making or gifting that shirt. And he came back with it, saying that it was a Christmas gift and asked if he was in trouble. I didn't respond back. I was mad and we were at an event with my parents. I feel like other people shouldn't be gifting things to people with our daughter's photo on it or things like that, especially without asking. Last year, they gave my husband something that said best dad with her pictures and a picture of him with his parents. I just find it odd. Those are things our daughter should be giving to people or us as her parents should be giving to people. I also find it weird for a grown man to be wearing pictures of a child around on his shirt. Am I overreacting to this? Is it just because I'm almost bothered by father-in-law a lot? Or is this weird, I guess, because I'm most bothered by father-in-law a lot? Or is this weird? I know the next time I see him, he will bring it up, and I want to make sure I address how I feel about it. Now, when I read this, honestly, I was a bit like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It makes sense. Like, okay, maybe you can say it's a bit weird to have a shirt printed with a photo on it in general, no matter who that person is in your family. Fine, fair enough. I'd find that a little bit strange. But I would not have this response of, hey, how dare anyone else in my family gift my father-in-law a picture of my child? That's a bit weird because that child is his grandkid, right? So it's pretty normal and natural for grandparents to have pictures of their grandchildren. And I think most grandparents would at the very least hang up pictures of their grandchildren. Like, I don't think that for us as parents, I guess I feel on some level, you could maybe make an argument along the lines of, hey, we as parents should have the right to decide who prints his pictures, how they're printed, and so on. And yeah, fair enough. I agree with that. But I would only get that if, for example, someone in the family is uploading this t-shirt, this Hawaiian shirt on Etsy and is selling it to other people who are not related or something like that. Or if it's been given to someone who's, maybe you've never met them, then okay, maybe I kind of get it. I would find it a little bit strange then and would say, hey, you know what? I don't want pictures of my kid to be used in these contexts. Fair enough. But in this context, I don't get it. I find the statement that she thinks it's weird for a grown man to be wearing pictures of a child around on his shirt a bit strange. I don't know what she's trying to imply there. I would say that if he, it's just a picture of his grandkid. If he's open about being his grandkid, then whatever. And I do think that chances are quite a lot of this is because you hate your father-in-law for whatever reason. The fact that her husband doesn't really seem to care, he just finds it funny, then probably implies to me that it's more of a personal problem. And if he knew already that the mother-in-law and his siblings got it for the dad, then he was probably involved. And if he was involved, then suddenly they got approval from him, even if it's implicit approval, even if they didn't explicitly ask him, but they knew that he knew and he didn't say anything about it, then I would assume that he okayed it. So I don't think it's a weird Christmas gift. I think this is totally an overreaction. I find the statement of, hey, only our daughter or we as her parents should be giving pictures of her as gifts to other people. I find that a bit strange. Like this, she says, last year they gave my husband something that said best dad with her pictures on it. I mean, that makes sense, right? Like why would you not give him a gift with his child on it? Like they gave it to her husband, who is the dad of the child that she's talking about. So I think OP is a little bit too much here, a little bit too much. I don't think a lot of people agree with me. First person says, if you are not close with your in-laws, I think that's completely weird. Regardless of the relationship, I would make a point that someone should be talking to the parents before plastering that child's face anywhere on anything, especially when it's not even being given to the parents, but someone else. I'm sorry you even have to deal with that. And then she says, OP says, I wish I would have been asked if it was okay. I think I would not be as upset about it. I would have said no to the shirt, but I would have been open about something else if I was asked. And that just sounds to me like she's just super hyper controlling, and I don't really understand why. I don't quite get the danger of it. No one seems to have asked her, hey, like, why is this such a big deal to you? Which I find so strange. One person says, I find it odd that someone else in the family made it and gifted it to him versus you and your husband. Have you gifted anything to him with her photo in the past? Perhaps a mug or a personalized monthly calendar? Did your husband know that his family was ordering the personalized shirt and never told you? I would just explain that you feel comfortable with your baby's photo on items for extended family members that are not gifted by the child and your family. If your husband knew about the gift in the planning process, I would speak with him about your concerns as well, so he can speak up and shut these types of things down in the future. And so I still wonder fundamentally why is everyone like, yeah, sure, pictures are so evil. Now I kind of get it, because we live in this age now where people plaster pictures of kids on Facebook, and I do think that you as parents should shut that down if you want to shut it down. Like I'm not comfortable at all with pictures of my kids being on Facebook, but that's a very different thing. That's you giving up your child's face in data form to the internet, and it will always be on the internet. That's very, very different from, hey, we just had this one shirt printed of our kid's face. I don't quite get what's the risk or what's the danger of having it there. One person says, I personally don't see the problem. I find it sweet and cute. It seems that your husband is okay with his father wearing a shirt with his child's face on it, so maybe you might be overreacting. Yeah, and I would probably agree with that. OP stands by what she said here. She says, no, she would find it annoying and weird no matter who asks for it or who does it or why they do it. But sometimes I feel that parents create problems for themselves and they look for sources of conflict just for the sake of it. And I don't quite get why you would live like that, because honestly, it's quite exhausting. There are enough real problems out there that you have to deal with as a parent that you do not need to invent new ones for yourself just because.